Hey, what is going on? It is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Christmas. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Wednesday to help you better understand the technical side of the real estate industry. And what we're talking about today is if you're new to real estate and what are some of the new agent tips? What are some of the things? And I want to really just boil this down really simple. So we won't go into huge detail on a lot of these tips, but just some of the little things, bits and pieces here and there to kind of just condense down a lot of the things you just should know as a new agent going into real estate to set yourself up for success, to make sure that you build a lasting real estate legacy with whatever it is that you're trying to do, whether you're just trying to do it on the side or whether you're trying to jump right in and do a full-time type of thing. Whatever it is that you're trying to make out of real estate, we want to see you accomplish those dreams. So today we're going to be talking about some tips to help you get there. I'm John Christmas. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Christmas. This show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Wednesday to help you understand the technical side of the real estate industry. And what we're doing today, just kind of keeping it simple here, to cover some new agent tips. So you're new to real estate, you just got your real estate license, or you're about to get your real estate license, and you want to make sure that you hit the ground running as quickly as possible and making this whole process as smooth as possible. That's going to be one of the things. The number one tip up here that I would put up here, don't wing it. Because here's what happens when you wing it. If you wing it, you're opening up a very, very large opportunity for failure, which that failure can be a great teacher, but here's also the other thing about that failure is it costs money, it costs time, it costs your morale, to where you might be willing to throw in the towel because you end up getting defeated and falling on your face again and again and again and again. That's probably not going to happen to you, but it's more likely to happen to you if you wing it. So don't go into this just, hoping for the best. Go into this intentional. And that's what I'll put up here for number 2, is to be intentional. And basically what that means is to have a plan. Have a plan of action. Have a reason behind that plan, and not just doing things for the sake of doing things. You might have heard people get criticized before for not being productive but being busy. So you don't want to be caught up in that whole being busy, and that's what happens when you're not intentional, when you don't have a plan, if you wing it. Notice how these first 2 things I'm putting up here really just comes down to, hey, don't waste your time. Make sure whatever time you're investing into this year. Because look, here's the difference. If you're used to being an employee and you're not used to being an entrepreneur, in real estate, if you're just getting paid a commission, which as a real estate agent under a broker, you're typically an independent contractor where you're working commission only, you don't get paid just for showing up. You don't get paid just for sitting there and looking like you're working. You get paid for closing deals, which the silver lining to that is if you get good at closing deals, there's no limit to how much you get paid. But the downside is if you don't close any deals, you're not going to make any money. So this is different than any job you've ever worked at, because if you have a job where you get paid just for showing up, and whether you accomplish the goal or don't accomplish the goal, you still get paid at the end of the day, that's where things are a little bit different in real estate. And that's why it's so important that you don't just wing it. Because you could go into maybe some sort of new job and wing it, and yes, you might get fired. Absolutely. That is the threat as an employee, is that you might get fired if you don't produce the results that are necessary. But up until you get fired, you're going to be earning an income. In real estate, the only person that's going to fire you is yourself. Maybe your clients as well on a smaller basis if you're doing a bad job with them. But no one's going to fire you from being a real estate agent other than yourself. Remember, you are your own boss. And as long as you don't break the laws or do anything against the company policies of your brokerage, the rest of it is basically on you. So if you just sit there and wing it and just try to hope it works out and hope the boss doesn't find out, you're the boss. You already know that you're slacking. So don't wing it. Be intentional. Have a plan. But here's the thing. If you're new to real estate, this might be the thing that troubles you. It's like, okay, yes, my plan is to sell a house. Now, how I sell that house, I might not have a plan for that. Well, that's where you need to have a plan. Not just a larger plan, not just the plan that I'm going to get my license and join a brokerage, but I'm going to get my license, join a brokerage, and I'm going to sell a house, and I'm going to sell a house by doing this to generate leads, and going on appointments with these leads and showing them how. And again, you can see how we're getting a lot more specific, breaking down what we're actually doing rather than just the surface level thinking of, oh, I'm going to go out and sell a house. So that's what I mean when I say have a plan. Have a plan of action. Of actions that you can take that are going to lead to money. Number 3. Throw this as a tip. Really, this should be number 1 on the list, but it's take post licensing. Now, why do you want to take post licensing right away? Well, number 1, so you don't have to wing it. Look, if you're going just off of the information you have in your pre-licensing course, you're going to know how to practice real estate legally. You're going to know what not to do so you don't lose your real estate license. But now when it comes to actually what you should intentionally do, what your plan is to actually make money with your real estate license, the laws and rules, again, are just basically the parameters that you have to stay within. But how you make the money within those parameters, within those laws and rules, that's not something really taught in the pre-licensing course, because the pre-licensing course, as mandated by the Florida Real Estate Commission, is to teach you so you could demonstrate that you have a minimal competence of the laws and rules that the Florida Real Estate Commission deems appropriate. So from the beginning, there's never any intention that you're going to learn how to sell real estate or learn how to sell it effectively, I should say, in your pre-licensing course. You will learn the laws and rules, the basic fundamentals of what you can and cannot do. But when it comes to actually practicing real estate, that's why you need to take post-licensing. And this is a requirement. It's a requirement because the Florida Real Estate Commission knows you will not last unless you know what to do to actually make some money in real estate. That's why they make this a requirement, to continue your education. And this is a requirement before your first renewal deadline. Now, if you're like myself, as well as most other real estate agents, you might be a little bit of a procrastinator. Or maybe you're not a procrastinator, but you don't quite see the importance of having to take another Florida Real Estate Commission required course. Well, this Florida Real Estate Commission required course doesn't have as strict of a syllabus as our Florida Real Estate Commission pre-licensing courses. Pre-licensing courses, we got to get you to pass the exam, otherwise that pre-licensing course is a waste of time. So the focus of the pre-licensing course is to get you to pass the exam. And that's why the syllabus by the FREC outlines the topics we have to teach down to every unit, because those are the topics that could potentially be on your exam. Post-licensing, though, they don't have that strict of a syllabus. They give us as a school more freedom around the curriculum that we could use in our post-licensing and continuing education courses. Still some parameters, of course, but we could dial in our post-licensing course into content that's more relevant to actually practicing real estate, of the need to know information so you could build a successful real estate career. And if you're like myself and most other real estate agents who put this off, you do yourself a huge disservice, because there is a lot of information in here that you're gonna wish that you knew when you got your real estate license when you take this later. I know, because I was in those shoes. I didn't want to take this course. I waited till right before my deadline to get this course done. And then when I finally took it, I was like, wow, this would have been really helpful a while ago. So take the post-licensing course. It's going to help you in choosing the right broker. That's another thing I want to put up here. Another tip. A broker is more than the money. Now, why do I want to include that tip up there? A broker is more than the money. Because most agents highly weigh, and I would say most agents overweigh the compensation structure of a brokerage when they're considering brokerages. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're going to go join a real estate team and only make like 10 or 15% of the total commission, that's probably not going to get you excited. It wouldn't get me excited. But now looking past that, if we make that decision just on the money, well, maybe that was the right decision, maybe it wasn't. But maybe us joining that team and us only getting that little sliver of the pie results in us actually selling real estate, whereas maybe we go join a 100% brokerage just to take the complete other end of the spectrum here. And this is where it's really more important, I would say, the broker is more than the money. Because as a new agent, there's going to be a lot of brokerages contacting you, trying to recruit you to their firm. And there's a lot of brokerages out there that are very low-cost brokerages. Again, going back to the money here. And low-cost brokerage meaning they have a no or very low commission split, so you basically get to keep 100% of your commission, and they have a very low fee or maybe a monthly fee, or somehow some way they're making money. But in order them to make money while charging you less, well, basic logic tells us, well, if they're going to charge you less, but yet they still want to make money, that they somehow have to provide less. Because unless they're going to basically operate their brokerage as a charity and maybe lose money, they're not going to be able to spend more money than the money it is that they have coming in. And remember, they're a business as well, so they're going to want to profit just like you want to profit. Every brokerage you go to, I don't know of any non-profit brokerages, although you could start a non-profit brokerage. There's nothing forbidding that, but I don't know of any of them out there. They're pretty much all for profit because you go into business usually for profit. So they're going to have some way that they're making money. And it's easy to get caught up in just thinking about the money, just thinking about what place is going to pay you the most. But remember this, that 15% of something is a lot more than 100% of nothing. And look, I'm not saying you should go out and join a real estate team and only earn 15% of the total commission. Well, there might be team situations out there with very low percentages, 15, 20, 25%. A more typical compensation plan, if you're not on a team at a brokerage, is usually around like 70-30, where you get 70% and the brokerage gets 30%. And usually that already exists, and then a team comes in and then they take even more of that, and that's how you end up with the smaller and smaller amount of the pie. But just like with the team, the reason why the team would be justified in taking more of that commission is because they're handling more of the process, or they're doing more. There's some value being exchanged for the money it is that you're getting paid. And that's why I would recommend taking post-licensing before you choose a brokerage, because you'll better understand how real estate works, how to practice real estate, and you'll be able to better understand the value you're getting from brokers rather than just understanding how much money it's going to cost. We all understand what the costs are going to be because we could all speak in dollars and cents. But until you're trained in real estate, you might not know what's important. And here's what's also important. And this is why it's important to have a plan of action, to be intentional, to have this all figured out in advance. The reason why that's a benefit is because this broker might have all kinds of bells and whistles to offer you, but maybe you don't need all those bells and whistles. Maybe what you're trying to do with your real estate license, maybe you're just trying to earn referrals. Look, if you just want to earn referral fees, you don't have to be at a brokerage that takes 50% of your commission. If you're just trying to earn referral fees, well, then you probably do want to be at one of these like 100% type of brokerages, because really, what do you need if you're just trying to earn referral fees? If all you're going to do is refer clients to other agents and sit back and collect a referral fee, really the only thing your brokerage needs to provide, other than the legal capacity of a brokerage, is a form, an agreement of what that referral fee is going to be. So they don't need to give you CRMs, and they don't need to give you websites, and they don't need to give you all these bells and whistles that are ultimately going to cost you money. Because remember, these brokerages are in business to make money as well. So the more that they offer you, the more that's going to cost. Every item of value, somebody's paying for that, and that somebody ultimately is you. Now, granted, when they could have this across the entire brokerage, it's usually a lower cost than you just going out and buying these softwares on your own if you do need them. But again, remember what you're trying to do with your real estate license. If you're just trying to earn referral fees, you don't need all that stuff. So understand and be intentional. Have a plan of action so that way you could, again, take your post-licensing course and learn more about how real estate is practiced and what is done and what your role is and what you need to do and what you need from your broker. You're figuring that out in post-licensing. So then when you go to interview brokers to find out which one's the best fit for you, you don't just understand how much they're charging you, but you also understand the value they're providing and what things truly are valuable to you and which things are not. Because there's a lot of fluff out there, don't get me wrong. In a competitive marketplace, there's two ways people compete. Either by lowering price or offering more value. That's literally it. That's the two ways you could compete with competition, is lowering price or offering more value. So that's what brokerages are doing as well. If they're not lowering their price, they're going to be offering you more value. But if that value isn't valuable to you, well, that's fluff. That's stuff that you don't need. That's stuff that you don't need to be paying for. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, I've got some more tips for you guys. Some more things I want to share for you as a new agent of things you want to know that you should know going into real estate so that way you land on your feet. And you don't just land on your feet, but you hit the ground running and you're taking off and you're closing deals and making business happen and achieving your real estate dreams. Well, first we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stick with us. I'm John Christopher. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor, where today we're covering new agent tips. So whether you just got your real estate license or you're about to get your real estate license, these are the things that, look, I wish I knew when I got started in real estate. If I knew these things, and look, these are to be expected, I would hope, at least. At least for some of these here, like the don't wing it, be intentional, have a plan of action, maybe taking post-licensing, maybe that one's not quite as obvious. Maybe the broker being more than the money, that's also quite not as obvious. Also, interviewing multiple brokers. Look, it's easy to go with that first person that you talk to when they make it sound good and they make it sound great, but then you talk to the next person, they make it sound even better, and then the next person, they make it sound even better. So now how do you even choose? Well, again, if you have a plan of action, if you know what you need from a broker, that's going to become a lot more obvious. Just give a quick shout out. So you guys here tuning in on the chats over on Facebook. What's up, Mike? Louise saying that he just got his license back in March 2020 and sold 6 houses already. We're talking about that. We're on break here. It's like, wow, is that astronaut? That's a great start to real estate. And is that hard to do? It's going to take work. And it's going to seem hard at first. I would absolutely say it's going to seem hard at first. But once you start to do this and you start to figure it out, you're going to realize it's not quite that hard. And it really becomes a cycle of rinse and repeat of, hey, let's do this again, and let's do this again, and let's do it again. Once you get through that first sale, that first transaction, you realize it's not really that difficult. It's not as hard as it's made out to be. You might have some speed bumps, some obstacles. You might, again, make some mistakes and fall on your face. But if you keep getting yourself back up and pushing forward, selling 6 houses in less than a year, yeah, that's absolutely possible. It's 100% possible. Luis did it, so great job, Luis. That's a great start to your real estate career there. I would say that you probably did these things here. Because this isn't like something that we're just, oh, hey, look, we just figured out these tips here. This is stuff that we've been working into our curriculums for years. And even though your pre-licensing course, again, the focus is to get you ready for the exam and focus on the laws and rules and so on and so forth, we do still want you to succeed in real estate as well. And that's why you'll probably hear these things from your instructors right there in the class, even though that's not necessarily something that would be tested on. We like to throw in little nuggets when we can that maybe isn't quite as important for your exam, but stuff you want to know for your real estate career. Whenever we got time, we'd like to work that stuff in. But getting back into more tips here. So, I can't remember what number. I will say we're on number 5 here. So next tip I have for you is don't waste time in licensing. What do I mean by don't waste your time when you're getting licensed? And again, I speak from personal experience. So let me share with you, when I got my real estate license, I dragged this out. I dragged it out. I shouldn't have. Because dragging this out, whether it's dragging out scheduling your exam, or dragging out doing your application even, or dragging out getting your fingerprints, or maybe procrastinating on the studying, or whatever it is that you're doing where you're adding time to this, you're only making this so much more difficult on yourself. And look, I know it's tough to overcome this. Again, when I got my real estate license, I was the same way. I procrastinated. I dragged this out. And that hindered so much in getting it going, getting it started. And really what it does more than anything is it builds false anticipation of oh God, this is going to be difficult. This is going to be hard. Because obviously passing this exam is hard. And if just passing the exam is hard, how is it going to be actually practicing real estate? Look, and you could talk to probably most real estate agents out there. I guarantee you that almost every single one of them are going to tell you that passing this exam is more difficult than actually practicing real estate. So you getting hung up and look, it's a time-consuming process. Don't get me wrong, it takes time to go through the course. It takes time to study. But the point I'm trying to make here is try not to add any procrastinating or adding any unnecessary time to this process, because that will make you lose momentum. That'll make you perceive real estate as something much more difficult than it actually is. Because don't get me wrong, this licensing process is difficult. There's a lot of information to go through and learn. But once you make it through that, once you get out of the other side of the tunnel, once you pass your exam, that's where the real fun begins. That's where you could actually now start to use your real estate license. But the problem is, again, if you just go out of passing your exam and going to try to practice real estate, you're going to feel like a chicken with your head cut off. That you don't know which way to go, which way to even look, or who's there to help you, and which ones are really going to help you, and which ones are just out to get you, or whatever. That's why you want to take your post-licensing. That's why you want to have a plan. That's why you want to have this figured out, so that way when you go out to this wild world that we live in, that you could hold your head high of knowing where you need to go, what you need to do, what you need to accomplish, and maintain that momentum. I'm just going to put that up here. Momentum. It's extremely important when you're starting anything. If we talk about physics, we could go through that whole, an object at rest is going to stay at rest. So if you don't have a real estate career yet, guess what? Your real estate career is at rest. And you have to overcome all of that inertia. And the only way you could do that is with momentum. So if you want to launch your real estate career, and I use that word launch, think of a rocket. Think of a rocket taking off. The most difficult moment for a rocket, where it needs the most power and the most thrust, is when it first initially leaves the ground. Because remember, an object at rest is going to stay at rest. And just because you've been doing all kinds of things and you're a very busy, productive person in other areas of your life, if you haven't practiced real estate yet, your real estate career is new and your real estate career is at rest. So you need to gain as much momentum as you can to get that ball rolling, to get that rocket ship leaving the Earth's atmosphere. And if you waste time in licensing, whatever it is, whether it's procrastinating, whether it's putting things off, whether it's not studying, whatever it is, that's going to affect your momentum. It's easy to sit there and say, okay, yeah, it only cost me $36 to take the exam, so I'll just keep taking that till I pass. Again, that's going to help you reinforce those false beliefs that real estate is as difficult as just passing this exam. So try to focus on getting some momentum and moving forward. One of the other things I would say is pay very close attention to your surroundings. Pay close attention to your surroundings, the environments that you're putting yourself in, the information that you're taking in. It's very easy to get caught up in the idea that real estate is hard and that, oh, this buyer is stupid or this seller doesn't want to budge, and all this negativity. And this negativity has to be learned somewhere. That's from your surroundings. Look, there's a lot of people that have a real estate license that aren't interested in achieving massive amounts of success. And that's okay, because real estate is whatever it is that you want to make of it. But if you want to achieve massive amounts of success, you want to surround yourself with other people who are achieving massive amounts of success, or at least want to achieve massive amounts of success, or better yet, taking the actions that are necessary to achieve massive amounts of success. Not sitting around complaining about them. That's not going to get you anywhere other than just upset with your life choices. So make sure that you're putting yourself in the right surroundings, in an environment of positivity, of surrounding yourself with people it is that you want to be like. Look, if you go put yourself in a real estate office where the agents just sit around, hang out, and talk about politics or sports or whatever it is, and they don't actually do anything, if that's the environment you put yourself in, what do you think is going to happen to you? What do you think your real estate career is going to look like? We're very much like sponges. Even though we might not learn like a sponge, we observe like a sponge. We take in everything, and we're going to learn behaviors when we see other people make these behaviors. So you want to put yourself in a situation, in a surrounding, in an environment that you want to see yourself as. You want to put yourself in that environment surrounded by people who are doing the things that you want to do, that are living the life that you want to live. That's absolutely important, because you will become part of that culture. If you accept into that brokerage, that organization, that firm, to some degree, even if you never spend time in the office, you'll pick up on that company's culture just from being part of that organization. So make sure, and again, this is why, going back to one of the first things we're talking about here, not to wing it, to be intentional about this. So that way you know, again, when you're choosing a broker, which one is going to be the best fit for you, which one's going to look right for you, which one of these is going to have people taking the actions that are the same types of actions you want to be taking, to align yourself with the right environment, with the same goals that you want to achieve. So definitely pay attention to your surroundings there on that. And remember, the last thing I want to leave you with here is that you're in charge. This is your business. This is your legacy. This is your empire that you're building. At the end of the day, this is all for you. And there's no one else that's going to care more about your future than you. So keep that in mind. Even though we have to answer to the Florida Real Estate Commission, even though we have to answer to our broker, remember, you are a business within a business. You are an independent contractor. You are your own boss. If you ever work for somebody and it seems like they don't have any direction and you're confused, you're conflicted because you don't know what to do, you're your own boss. If you don't know what to do, you're going to have that feeling about yourself. So again, that's why the biggest tip, the biggest takeaway, I could say the biggest thing that you could do after you get your real estate license, get enrolled in the post-licensing. It's not going to be an end-all be-all. It is not the finality of everything you need to learn. It's just the beginning of the journey of lifelong learning for real estate. But it's going to cover some of the most important concepts and topics and fundamentals that you absolutely need to understand. Even if you don't implement what's taught in your post-licensing course line by line, You're going to learn about what is tried and true and what does work and what has gone on for many years of practicing real estate. Can you innovate on that? Absolutely. But don't wing it. Don't wing it. Figure out what works, what you need to do, what actions you need to take, how this real estate process works, how to submit an offer, how to persuade your client to take an offer. That's not covered in your pre-licensing course. We do learn that the contracts, it's up to the client. That's what the law says, that ultimately it's them, the client, that has to agree or disagree with the agreement, with the contract. But what about our opinion on that matter? We learn in our pre-licensing course that we can have an opinion, but now how do we successfully convey the information that we need to about this offer to try to get the deal done? We could spend all day here. We could spend 45 hours. We could spend more than 45 hours going through what you learn in that 45-hour post-licensing course. It's a lot of different topics. No, it's not the end-all be-all. It's not going to teach you everything. You're still going to need to take other stuff to learn more things about how to build a successful real estate career. But number one, it's a requirement. You need to do it. You need it to satisfy the Florida Real Estate Commission requirement. Otherwise, they'll take your license away. So you absolutely have to take this course. Why wait? Why wait? The only reason I waited is because I didn't think there was going to be any valuable information in that post-licensing course. I was wrong. There's a lot of valuable information in that course. There's a lot of opportunity to learn about things that will make you money in real estate in your post-licensing course. So get enrolled in that. If you haven't even started your pre-licensing course yet, we actually have some great bundle packages. If you're already enrolled in a pre-licensing course, call us up because we still could get you some special bundle price packaging, including our study tools, our pre-licensing course, as well as that required post-licensing course you have to take after you get your real estate license. So if you have questions about any of this, the process of what's necessary at the current stage you're at, give us a call, 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. We have advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way that they can. So let us help you. You can also check us out online at tampaschool.com. Again, that's tampaschool.com. Again, phone number is 813-333-2676. That's about all the time we've got for today. If you guys have liked today's episode of New Agent Tips, hit that thumbs up button for us, and maybe we'll do another video with some more tips. Maybe once you've already joined a brokerage to what you want to do. I don't know. Let us know in the comments what you're struggling with. We do these episodes to help you achieve your dream real estate career, whether you're a past Tampa School of Real Estate student or you're brand new to us. We want to share this information with you every week, so make sure you hit that bell icon so you get notifications whenever we've got new content, so you don't miss out on any of this information that we deliver every single week. So that's all the time we've got for today. Again, you've got questions, phone numbers down below, 813-333-2676. That's all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you on Friday for State of Real Estate. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.